Hey gang, this is Dave Cooke. I think you probably can't see me, so you get to see the darkened face of Dave Cooke. Sorry about that. I'm in a nice setting, so I thought I would just share this anyway, so you can't see my face. Apologize for that. Anyway, there I am. See the outline of my ears. What do you know? Anyway, I was just sitting here. I've been pondering this thought since the middle of the night when I was woken up from my deep sleep with a thought. And I alluded to this yesterday in one of my posts, but I thought I would share this with you now, is that one of the things I got to say is that I've been working really hard in the last year or so to develop, or actually the last several years, to develop a program for parents who are dealing with the adversity of substance abuse, substance use disorder, and addiction in the family. And my big frustration, truthfully, my big frustration is I just, at times I get caught up in impact and results and stuff like that. And a lot of that stuff is obviously me assessing, am I doing the right thing? Am I making a difference? Is it worth it? And I got to be honest with you, I get caught up in that. And the more I think about the journey that I'm on and the path that I've been put on is there's a temporal component to it, and there's a divine component or eternal component to it. And this journey is me, really the transformational journey that I'm on is a walk of faith with God as He's continuing to develop me and mold me and teach me and educate me as I'm growing into a relationship with Him and growing into being, understanding what it means to be who He says I already am. And then the conflict comes when we're dealing with the earthly things, the stuff that says, how do I pay my bills? How do I grow this? How do I measure success? How do I measure performance? And that's an entirely different thing, because that's about me. Stepping into this space and saying, God has called me into this space, and I am who I am, and I am who He says I am, allows me to trust the journey and allows me to embrace the journey. And when I get in conflict is when those two things is, the earthly stuff is what's it's all about. How do you perform? How do you make it happen? In other words, instead of just trusting where I am because God says that's where I am and that's where He wants me and I'm on time and I'm gifted and I'm loved. And as I was thinking about all this stuff, is what really corrupts me and corrupts my joy and corrupts my path and erupts where I'm at is when I start to get into performance-related things. And I start to share with friends and colleagues some of my frustrations. And the first thing that always comes out of those conversations is advice. The first thing that comes out of those conversations is things that I could do more of or things that I could do differently. And the funny thing is, I never asked. I never said, tell me what you think I need to do. What I've said is, let me tell you where I am. Those are two entirely different conversations. When I'm sitting with somebody, and this is the gift of selfless listening, this is the gift that comes from healing through listening, is when somebody sits down with you and those are the first two steps, is somebody shares with you and says, I am struggling with something in my life. I am struggling at a place in my life. And what they're doing is they're making you aware of something that's causing them distress. And as the conversation proceeds, they start to share with you where it hurts and why it hurts and what's working and what's not working and why it gets in the way and what their struggles are. And so many times what that does is that creates a space of empathy for the listener to feel what the person that they're talking to is feeling what I'm sharing about my frustrations and my challenges or somebody else's frustrations and their challenges. And so often, that's where we find this need of, let me solve it, let me fix it, let me tell you. And we jump off with a solution or idea or an answer or a fix. And I have to be really honest with you guys. That is not what the person is asking for. They didn't say, please tell me what I need to do. They said, please let me tell you where I am. And this is, the whole selfless listening. There's 4 steps to selfless listening, and the first 2, everybody does them because it's easy. We get to the superficial, the high-level stuff. This is what I'm going. This is what's going on in my life. This is what's working. This is what not working. Here's my pain. and somebody gives us a real high level, simple answer, and it comes from a place of love and concern and support. But it's not time. It's too early in the game. You haven't let me vent. You haven't let me bleed. You haven't let me share. You haven't even caught into a deep level of understanding what it is. What you've done is you've short-circuited the relationship building process. You have short-circuited the opportunity to really learn what the underlying issue is, the deep-seated pain issue or the deep-seated struggle issue. You've just jumped into solutions mode. It's not time. So I entitled this speech, "Don't Say It," because I'm going to get a badge now because, I'll be honest with you, I'm standing in a space where I'm truly frustrated. And I got a gazillion friends who are going to, jump on this. If I sat down and had a cup of coffee with them, I love them and they love me, and I respect them and they respect me, and they're celebrating the journey that I'm on and the things that they know I want to accomplish. But they jump in with a solution and it short circuits me venting and releasing all the stuff that's just truly driving me crazy. And I need to vent those things. I need to share them. I need to be able to give people a deep level of understanding, which is level 3. So we go from listening to learn, learning to understand, and it's understanding to know what the real issue is. And understanding to know gives you context. Now you feel what I feel, see what I see, understand what I understand. Not as interested in what you see as an answer to my situation as much as it is what do you see as a solution to my situation as you understand it from what I see, think, feel, and experience. And that's selfless listening. That's healing through listening. And then at that point in time, when I give you or somebody else gives you permission to solve it, says, what do you think? What do you believe? What do you hear? That's permission to offer your perspective. But it also is permission to offer your perspective from a place of deep context and understanding. And so I just wanted to share this because I realize that I'm sideways in things in my life today. And the reason I'm sideways in things in my life today is because I've spent time listening to people that I love and trust give me advice and information from their perspective without having them taken the time to truly understand my struggle, my pain, my view, and my experiences as I think, see, and experience them. And so my advice to my friends is, don't say it. Spend some more time listening. And if you're working with somebody that you love and you care about and you're deeply concerned with, and you find yourself wanting to jump in, ask yourself the question, am I telling them what they need to know, or am I giving them what they've asked me to share? And if they haven't asked you for advice, help, or guidance, it's not your turn. The only thing you need to do at that point in time is step in, go deeper, and really, really, really see the world from their perspective and understand where they're at. That's where the answer lies. Not in what you think you understand from where you sit, but what you've realized you've learned from where they sit. That's it. Have a great day.